I'm wondering if you can give the audience maybe your top tips for a founder who's listening to this, watching this right now, and they're looking to raise from either an angel or a syndicate. What are your top tips for one of those founders who's looking to raise now?
Sure. My view, and this might be just an opinion, right? I think certainly there are different people who have different takes on the subject. Uh, One, get your pitch deck together. That one's fairly obvious and commonplace. But it's not just like the pitch deck, right? A lot of pitch decks can give away negative signals that the founders themselves don't even realize. So it's a good idea to just put that in front of other investors and get feedback on it, right? There are times where a company looks interesting at the surface, but looking at a pitch deck, I can pick out a few hairs on the deal that I don't like that make it a non-starter, right? But you can get ahead of that if, you get the right feedback mechanisms. The second thing I've just spoken towards was get your data room ready, right? Besides your pitch deck, what do you need? Well, you need employment agreements. You need incorporation agreements for your company. You need IP assignment to say like whatever work is done in this company is owned by the company and not by a founder or some other key employee. You need to get your cap table ready. If you've received investment in the past, get all of that organized and sorted so that it's ready when somebody wants to dive in. It looks organized, right? And that moves the chances on getting you towards a deal. I would also say, do your research on investors, right? Be bespoke and personalized and purposeful about who you reach out to. Because the worst thing to get is, assume every investor has an ego, right? That's probably pretty safe to say. It's just about a truism. And it just doesn't work for you to have a generic, non-personalized, mass, cold message, right? It just will not work. It's efficient for you because it seems like you can reach out to 1,000 people, in a matter of 10 minutes, but they're just about all going to fail. And the biggest one, I think, for people who are listening to this is my number one top tip for what you should absolutely pay attention to when you're out fundraising. You need to write copy for your company around how you introduce your company extremely well. Like, I can't tell you how common it is that I get a cold inbound or a message or an outreach from a company who's trying to fundraise. And I'm trying to give it a time of day because I know it's hard. I've been there. And I read your message and I still don't understand what your company does. For me, that's a non-starter, right? Then everything that you've done down the line, the pitch deck, your data room, all of that is inconsequential, right? You have that, it's like a job interview, right? Unfortunately, you have about 15 seconds to make that right impression and draw an investor into a conversation. That first outreach, you get so little of time and energy just because, most people are just bombarded. They're busy. I'll spend seconds or less than a minute on that first message. And if it doesn't catch my eye, I don't understand it, like you're done, right? It won't go any further. And if you think about it, it's something that's fully within your control, right? Write down 4 lines explaining to me what your company does and why it's particularly interesting. Keep it simple, and just, that's your hook, right? Make it dead easy for me to understand, right? Or whoever you're reaching out to. So that's my top tip.